We're back at the Gridiron Challenge from Jacksonville State University. Burgess Snow Field. We got Montgomery Catholic Knights taking on the Callaway Cavaliers out of Georgia here in our final spring football game. With Gerhard Mathignani, I'm Chase Robinson in the booth with you. John Holder will make his way down to the sideline. We have had a lot of good football today, Gerhard, and we're ending it with a really good football game here.
Really quality teams and teams that we expect to see a lot out of. I was really surprised with Gardendale. They're a team that is really physical, really athletic. I just got a chance to speak with Coach Eads both on and off camera, and they're legitimately going to be a contender there in that region. And obviously it's the same region that has the state champions with Pinson Valley. Oxford's moving into that region as well. Really impressed with them. Clay Central under Danny Horn, you know they'll be buttoned up and they'll get their act together. These are two ball clubs right here, one from Alabama and Catholic Montgomery, the other from Georgia and Callaway, but both had similar seasons, both about 10-2. Callaway was 10-2 and Montgomery, or Catholic Montgomery, was 11-2, and so both had runs in the playoffs. The thing about this game right here is talent, though. There is so much talent on the field. We'll be highlighting that as the day goes along.
A lot of talent. Looking at doing some research on both of these teams before we get up here for this game, and both teams star-studded football teams.
Absolutely. And Keandre Jones, he is an offensive tackle. I got word a minute ago that Keandre Jones will not be playing, apparently. Has some health issues, and they don't want to risk it right now. He's wearing number 58, and so you might be able to see him on the sidelines and coaching some of the guys up. He already has 50 offers from several different schools. And then you also have a running back in Tank Bigsby. He is a class of 2020 guy, so he's an underclassman, but he's already recruited and ranked as the #1 prospect at his position in the nation. So it'll be really interesting to see him. And then there's also a receiver, a big-time receiver for Callaway that we'll be able to highlight as well. So Catholic Montgomery will probably play in the spring its best team. They'll play really all year long. So it's a good test for Catholic Montgomery. It's also a great test for Callaway. Callaway, a team that wants to go deep in the playoffs, made the quarterfinals last year. See how far they go again this year. Obviously a talented squad trying to put it all together, and both teams gunning for a state championship.
We have got a good one coming up next as Callaway out of Georgia, the Cavaliers, take on Montgomery Catholic Knights, coming up here at Jacksonville State University on the Gridiron Challenge, TV 24.
I was finally ready to buy my first home after renting for the last several years. As I started my search, I got overwhelmed by how many websites and confusing listings there are. That's when I found the experts at ERA King. To me, ERA means expertise, reliability, and activity. I depended on them to find a home in my budget, and they didn't stop working until the keys were in my hands. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
Historic Banning Mills is the largest and longest zipline canopy adventure in the world. It's located in your own backyard near Carrollton, Georgia. Historic Banning Mills offers over 9 miles of courses, 52 sky bridges, and over 90 different zip lines, soaring at speeds of up to 60 miles per hour and up to 3,400 feet in length. Most everyone in the family can participate, even the little ones. If that's not enough, climb the Guinness World Record's tallest freestanding rock climbing wall at 14 stories high. Historic Banning Mills also offers horseback riding, kayaking, GPS adventures, birds of prey shows, and much more. So much that you can't fit it all in one day. So stay the night or the whole weekend at their Country Inn Lodge or rent a cabin. Don't take your family, friends, or company retreat just anywhere. Make it unforgettable at Historic Banning Mills.
I'm Tim Hodges. For the last 8 years, it's been my honor to serve as the Calhoun County Commissioner for District 2. During my tenure, we've accomplished a lot.
With Tim Hodges on the commission, over 990 new jobs were created in District 2, not to mention the completion of 10 county school enhancements, along with over $6.5 million invested in the district's infrastructure.
We still have more to do, and with your support, we'll get it done together.
Vote Tim Hodges, Calhoun County Commissioner, District 2.
Back here for the Gridiron Challenge. Jacksonville State University is the site here as we broadcast these spring football games to you on TV 24. And we have our final one here as Montgomery Catholic takes on Callaway here. It's Gerhard Mathangani. I'm Chase Robinson, and we are getting set for kickoff here. The captains are making their way out onto the field, and we talked about a lot of stars in this football game. And of course, Callaway coming over from Georgia. They would be in Class 5A in Georgia. Montgomery Catholic Class 4A.
Yeah, and that's important to note because Georgia and Alabama, as far as the classifications go, is way different. Basically, it's because of the way that the schools are built and the way that they divide the lines and the districts. They're all a little bit bigger, so the numbers don't necessarily correlate. So Callaway is a 3A school, but if, like you said, if they were in the state of Alabama, they would be a 5A school. So that would give you a bit of perspective of how large the Callaway team is and how large that school enrollment is. And obviously, Catholic Montgomery coming in as a 4A school, Region 2. So they play down south with a lot of the top dogs down there.
As both teams meeting with our official as we get set for tip-off or kickoff here, rather, as final spring game. We've seen a lot of football over the last few days, and we have a good one to end it here. Montgomery Catholic, of course, down out of Montgomery, and then Callaway out of Georgia.
This will also be new for Callaway because Alabama is the first state in the union to initiate replay.
Yep.
So Callaway will have the benefit of being in a replay system today. So head coach Pete Wiggins will have an opportunity to challenge his plays, but he won't be able to do it in the regular season when he goes back to Georgia. But here's the thing. If this thing takes off like a lot of people expected, and it could, we're still in the experimental stages. If it takes off, Georgia might be one of the states to be a first follower on this thing. And so he'll have a game advantage or a game where he's at least somewhat used to it. So it's an interesting dynamic because Georgia does not have instant replay. Alabama just got it an hour and a half ago, it seemed like. And so we are now in a situation where both teams are playing under same rules here, but when Callaway goes back east, they'll be playing under different rules.
Montgomery Catholic won the toss, and they will receive. So we'll get to see the Knights on offense first. Beautiful afternoon here in Jacksonville, Alabama. It is warm down on the turf.
Absolutely. I was talking to some of the players from Central Clay, and they were commenting on just how hot it was, and I guess the spring wasn't all that hot for them, but especially coming out there and being on those rubber pellets, especially on the home side, it's probably 10 degrees higher than the temperature in the air for the stands, and last I saw was about 86, 87 degrees, so say you add about 10, 15 degrees down there on the field, and then not to mention the pads that they're in and the helmets and all the gear that they're in. It's sweltering down there.
And we will be kicking this one off to start this game. You know, some of these spring games there was absolutely no kicking. They would just start from the 35. Well, we are going to kick off here.
Now this is really interesting because we're having a kicking situation, but all we have is the kicking team, the kick coverage team, and the returners. I have never seen this ever, and the reason why you do this is it's more so to get the reps in for your kickers and your returners. But typically you'll see the return unit out there, and they'll go back and they'll pretend block, and it's largely for the repetition. But that time you didn't have the kickoff return team; it was just the two returners, and so everybody's playing this a little bit differently. And you want to get the kicking game in because it's an important aspect of the game. And everybody says, you know, there's three facets of the game: there's offense, defense, and special teams. If you win 2 of 3, then you have a great chance to win the game, and most teams that win 2 of 3 have the best chance to win. That was an interesting situation right there as they try to get the kicking duties in. And
they will start from the 35-yard line, though. And Christian Ivey is the quarterback for the Knights. We're working to get everybody lined up, and once again, this
theme
has
of the
been
day.
Just continuous here in their spring football games is finding a chain gang.
This has been. I feel like now you can't start a game without a chain gang. We have to wait on them.
So we'll work to get one of those. Little update in college softball. The Jacksonville State Gamecocks, they're in action right now, top of the 8th inning, tied at 3 with Kennesaw State. Kennesaw was up 3-2, 7th inning. Caitlin Sapp, the senior for JSU, hit a solo bomb to tie it up at 3. So extra innings in Tallahassee.
Coach Jana McGinnis, probably the finest coaching job she has ever had was this year, going through everything that team went through, and really not just softball, but all the spring sports. Football, it happened right during spring practice. Baseball happened right during their season. The golf team had to go through it as well. And then the men's golf team ended up winning an OBC championship. And on the women's golf team, you had Valentina Geraldo go as an individual to the NCAA tournament. All these teams, individuals, coaches, a huge, huge applause for the way they handled this season. It's been fantastic. And then they're finding the success on the field as well. So good luck to Jacksonville State in the elimination game, and I think they'll take on Auburn if they come away with a win here.
And we have got a chain gang, so we are ready to play football here. Ivy takes the snap, and he hands off to Raz Chandler. He'll gain about 2 yards on the play. Second down and 7 now for the Knights. Ivy takes the snap. Handoff. This time, I believe that went back to Chandler. We'll bring up a 3rd and 5 now for the Knights. Again, this will be a full game. We've been playing halves between Gardendale, Lawrence County, and Central Clay County. We're back to a full game here for Callaway and Montgomery Catholic. Snap to Ivy as he finds Chandler this time. That will bring up a 4th down.
Nice play there by Dee Bonner, number 25, coming up. And here's coach for Catholic Montgomery, Aubrey Blackwell. And Aubrey's in his 4th season with the Knights and looking to put together yet another strong run. They've been improving every year he's been on campus. Last year, won 10 games, went to the 2nd round of the playoffs. Coach Blackwell doing a great job there with the Knights.
So we bring the punt unit on this time for 4th down. We won't see live kicking, but again, like they did with the kickoff, we'll see some reps for the special teams.
It's a fantastic punt right there. Goes all the way down to the 8-yard line. Now they'll spot it at the 35. That's where the Cavs will start their possession, but a fantastic punt. And this is the reason why you practice these things, is to make sure that your snapper and your punter are all on the same page and being able to get some punts up. So a great punt. In the regular season, that would have been a coffin corner, as they call it, down in the 9-yard line. But we'll see the Knights for the first time. Sorry, the Cavs for the first time on offense.
Quarterback for Callaway is number 2. And we do not have a 1 through 14 on our roster. So we'll see if we can get those names for you. Big run this time for the Cavs as he crosses the 50. And he has room ahead, and he will go into the end zone. First play for Callaway results in a touchdown for the Cavs.
I will take a shot here and say that is going to be Tank Bigsby. Tank Bigsby is the guy that we talked about earlier. He's a running back. He's the #1 running back in the country for 2020, and you see why. Watch this run right here. Fantastic blocking down the field, but then once he got into the open space, he's gone. It is absolutely no question whatsoever why he has offers from the likes of Auburn, Alabama, LSU, Florida, Tennessee. Michigan, Michigan State, Nebraska, North Carolina, Ohio State, Ole Miss, USC, several others. They're all seeing what we're seeing, and that's a solid run for Tank Bigsby, one of the underclassmen here for the Cavs.
Callaway takes a 7-0 lead in the first quarter over the Knights of Montgomery Catholic here in our final game of the Gridiron Challenge here on TV 24. We'll be back with more. Look at that right there. Bigsby found a hole straight to the end zone. So once again, the special teams unit will be on the field. No live kicking. And the whistle will sound, and Montgomery Catholic will again take it from the 35-yard line, begin some reps there for the special teams unit from Callaway. So the Knights back on the field. Last time 3 and out for Montgomery Catholic. So we'll see what the Knights bring this time. Quarterback Christian Ivy, the junior, back on the field at quarterback. Handoff this time to Daryl Gibson, and he'll gain a couple of yards. Second and 9. Ivy takes the snap. Hands off to Gibson once again.
Absolutely nowhere to run there. That defense from Callaway comes up with a big play. Telly Fanning and company making a big play and setting up the Knights with a 3rd and long situation.
Another 3rd down and long for the Knights. Let's see if they can convert it this time. Ivy takes the snap. Pressure coming, he rolls out. More white jerseys around him, and they bring him down.
Was it number 3 was out there first, Nathan Sapp. From his defensive lineman position, he's another fantastic player for the Cavs and slows him up just a little bit and then gets him help from 24 R.J. Williams, who cleans it up. Sapp, that defensive tackle, the defensive end, I should say, already has 6 offers. Southern Miss, Jacksonville State right here, Marshall, Charlotte, Western Kentucky, and Eastern Kentucky. So it's a team loaded with college prospects everywhere, and Nathan Sapp is one of those guys helping out initially on the play that loses some yards and sets up the Knights in a punting situation.
Another nice punt. As you see, it lands in the hands of Tank Bigsby. I bet he could do some damage returning punts, too.
Exactly, and that punt is by number 12, Zach Papanastos. And I would venture to say that he has to be kin, maybe a brother, to the Alabama kicker or Alabama kicker and punter or special teams guy, Andy Papanastos. Is that his first name? Andy Papanastos? I don't figure that name is as popular in the state of Alabama. We'll try to see if we can hunt down John, see if we can confirm that. But a really solid kick there.
So once again, Callaway takes the field. The snap. And the quarterback will take it himself this time. And it takes about 3 blue jerseys to bring him down.
really talented group.
Jacob Freeman, the quarterback for Callaway. Freeman rolls out this time, and that is T. Bonner. Kind of tipped it up, caught it, pick up a first down for the Cavs.
That's some great athleticism right there. Tipped it up to himself, stayed with the concentration on the football, able to make the catch and pick up the first down. A nice rollout. That's a fantastic play right there.
So 1st and 10 from about the 38-yard line. And they will be brought down after gaining a couple of yards on that play. So that will be a 2nd and 7. Freeman takes the snap, hands off this time to, that is Quay Hines. And that will bring up a 3rd down for the Cavs. Haven't seen Bigsby this series.
That's right. He had 1 carry for a touchdown on the last possession and hasn't touched the ball yet here. 3rd and about 6. Figure it's a great time to go to him.
Bigsby will line up to the right of Freeman. Freeman takes the snap. He looks to pass, plenty of time, and he will pitch it ahead to number 11. That is Jameer Jones.
That's a sign of a good quarterback right there. He just waited for all of his options to develop. Nothing was working downfield, and then makes the flip to Jones, and they got the first down. Watch this right here. Just no panic, stays poised, and doesn't try to force anything. He knows it's 3rd down, and he just goes to the last option right there, knowing that he's got a great chance to pick up a first down, and he does.
1st and 10, and a timeout on the field. 5:26 left here in the first quarter, and Callaway leads it 7-0. It's the Gridiron Challenge, TV 24.
The Calhoun County Spring Jam is brought to you by Dunn's Heating and Cooling. For great residential and commercial service, upfront pricing, and dependable Bryant Heating and Cooling products, call Dunn's Heating and Cooling. Visit their showroom on Pelham Road South in Anniston. Give them a call or visit online at dunnsheatingandcooling.com.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Don Hudson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly supports the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
You'll always remember the day you start at Gadsden State, the butterflies when you walk in your first college class, and you'll remember the day you finish, hold your diploma, and hug your family. But there are so many other memories in between, the instructors that inspire you, amazing skills that you master, and classmates that become lifelong friends. We want you to be a part of the memories we build together. Start it, finish it, with us at Gadsden State.
We're back here at Jacksonville State University for Callaway and Montgomery Catholic in our final game of the Gridiron Challenge, and we are receiving word that this game, Gerhardt, is only 3 quarters long. So we'll see what these two teams bring in the next 3 quarters. That was a pass completed to Marcus Norman, and he will be brought out right across the 50-yard line.
It's a nice play right there. He's take a look at Coach Pete Wiggins of Callaway. He has an extremely talented group, and they're a hungry group as well. Lost in the quarterfinal round of the playoffs, enjoyed an 11-2 season. Has a ton of talent on this team. Talent won't be an issue here as this team moves forward.
Freeman takes it himself this time, and he'll get across the 40, pick up the first down. And about a yard. Another 1st and 10 now for Callaway.
It's a nice run there by the veteran quarterback. You saw the speed there from Freeman as he made his way to the outside. And this is one of those kind of quarterbacks that can kill you either way, because we saw it on the pass earlier, really kind of a shovel pass. And with Tank Bigsby in the backfield, you have to respect his running game, and then Williams can throw as well.
Freeman rolls out, long pass this time is completed. They'll say he was out of bounds. That was Jamar Jones, and he will be out of bounds on the 3-yard line.
Fantastic throw here. Watch this one more time, just getting back to the outside, and Freeman just lets this thing go on the run and really doesn't even set his feet, but throws it picture perfect right on the spot. And Jones comes up with it.
So 1st and goal for Callaway. Well, down to about the 1-yard line after the run from Bigsby.
Should make note once again that Keandre Jones is one of the top tackles in America. He is out for this game, has some health concerns, and so they decided to sit him. So he'll be on the sideline, but just another powerful weapon that this Callaway offense has is along their offensive line.
Freeman this time will go in the end zone for a touchdown for the Callaway Cavaliers. Freeman taking it right up the middle. He thought about maybe pitching it, but he took it himself and walked right in.
Yeah, I think that was, it looked more like a design play where just make the linebackers freeze just a little bit with a fake pass and then run all the way. And we talked about Tank Bigsby, and we talk about the offensive lineman. It's really all predicated on the play of the quarterback, and so far he has looked solid. Jacob Freeman.
Hunter Williamson on to attempt the extra point, and it is no good. So the score will stay 13-0. The Callaway Cavaliers on top of Montgomery Catholic here in quarter number 1.
Really interesting to see here what Montgomery Catholic does on this next drive. They haven't been able to string together a bunch of positive plays and give a lot of credit to the Cavs defense. We'll see if they change it up here, see if they go a little bit more to the air on this drive.
Williamson back on to kick off. He'll get it down to about the 15-yard line. And the Knights will be back on the field, and they will start from the 35-yard line.
Both squads, as we said, coming off solid seasons, and both have legitimate chances to make it to their respective state championship games. Callaway and Georgia, they were close last year, 2 rounds away from a state championship.
The snap to Ivy, and he's brought down.
Kind of a delayed blitz there. Number 24, R.J. Williams, comes in with the tackle.
So 2nd and about 16 for the Catholic Knights.
Really all game long, Callaway's made it really hard on Montgomery Catholic to get anything developed. So outside of short routes and plays that develop quickly, this Callaway team doesn't give up very much.
Ivy once again brought down in the backfield to bring up a 3rd and long.
That was number 89 for Callaway that comes up with a big play there. And give credit to Darian Thrash, who comes up with a tackle.
.240 left here in quarter number 1. And 3rd, about 21 for the Catholic Knights. Ivy takes the snap. Hands off to, that is Raz Chandler, to bring up a 4th down.
Absolutely nowhere to go there for Montgomery Catholic. That drive was just all predicated on the great Cavalier defense, and saw a blitz and then just great run protection. And this play, or this drive, went the complete opposite way as far as yardage go.
So 4th and long, and that will bring the kicking unit back on, the punt unit. Punt back to about the 35-yard line. And that is about where Callaway will start on offense. They've scored both offensive series so far here in this game. We'll see what the Cavs have this time up on offense.
And I feel like they want to use different measures. I think that they pretty much understand they have one of the best running backs in the country, number 1 according to 24/7 Sports, and Tank Bigsby. But teams will line up, and a lot of teams, I would think a lot of defensive coordinators will say, hey, look, we won't let the running game beat us. Let's have somebody else beat us. And so Callaway knows they'll have to give it to other players, even though they have one of the more talented players in their backfield. So they've been mixing it up.
Freeman takes the snap, fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, takes it up the middle. Heads in the opposite direction, up the right side. And he will be brought down at about the 10-yard line.
This is pure athleticism here that we are seeing from this Callaway group. That was a fake to Tank Bigsby. How about this? You fake it to the number 1 running back in America, and then you have this as your quarterback. This is a good problem to have if you're Callaway. And just takes off right down the middle of the field, gets a good block from Bigsby. And then cuts it to the outside, and then a touchdown saving tackle there by the defensive back. Yet again, we're seeing this high-powered offense from Callaway strike again.
1st and goal from the 10. Freeman under center, takes the snap, hands off to Bigsby, and he will be brought down at about the 2-yard line.
Nice tough run there on the inside by Bigsby. And this offense, I don't think they've lost yards really all game long. Be interested to see how many yards they have already. Because with Bigsby's touchdown, with Freeman in that last drive, this has been a stellar performance here by the Cavs offense.
Under a minute to go here in the 1st quarter. Freeman under center, takes the snap. Back to Bigsby, and back in the end zone. He goes, touchdown Callaway.
2nd touchdown of the day. This one was just too easy. It really goes untouched. Take a look here. This is fantastic blocking. Give a lot of credit to 51 and 52. That is the offensive guard and the offensive tackle for the Cavaliers, and really set up a great line for him. And Trey Dukes and Keyshawn Cameron, 2 of the guys helping that guy celebrate.
Williamson on to attempt the extra point. It is up and good. 20-0 Callaway. And it has been all Callaway here. 35 seconds to go here in this 1st quarter. We talked about the stars in this football game, and we're seeing them.
Absolutely, and we talked about how this could be the toughest opponent that Montgomery Catholic sees all year long, and they're getting it in the spring game. So this is good for Montgomery Catholic to see this kind of talent, but it has been a show so far for Callaway, and they're showing you that they look the part, and 2018 might be their year to capture a 3A state championship in the Peach State.
Williamson back on to kick off. And he will get it again right across the 15-yard line. That will bring the Catholic Knights back onto the field on offense.
really nothing doing, especially in that last drive. There's just, I mean, the Cavs really shut everything down defensively, and we'll see what the Knights go to here.
Ivy takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls out, pressure coming, but he finds DJ Carter for a first down around the 50-yard line.
First really good positive play there for the Knights, and they caught Callaway in a blitzing situation, and he was wide open. Take a look here as Ivy makes the pass right to the soft spot and picks up the first down. Some good plays there for Callaway, or a good play there for Callaway, well executed.
1st and 10 from the 50 for the Knights. Gibson lines up just behind Ivy. Ivy takes the snap, looks to pass, pressure coming, and he will be brought down about 4 yards behind the line.
We've seen this all game long. Once again, that is Nathan Sapp with the big tackle. He's another top college prospect there for the Cavaliers.
And that is the end of the first quarter. Callaway leads it 20-0 over the Montgomery Catholic Knights here from Jacksonville State University. It's the Gridiron Challenge live on TV 24.
On the night of March 19th at approximately 8:30 p.m., an EF3 tornado hit the campus of Jacksonville State University, causing extensive damage. Winds reaching 150 miles per hour caused damage to 23 buildings, including Merrill Hall, which was destroyed. 50 other buildings, including the landmark Houston Cole Library, were damaged or impacted. If you would like to help with the JSU recovery effort, you can go to jsu.edu/JSUstrong.
Back here at Jacksonville State University, Gridiron Challenge at the start of the second quarter between Callaway and Montgomery Catholic. And the Callaway Cavs lead it 20-0. Strong first quarter performance from Callaway.
So we found out from John that Zach Papanestos, who wears number 12, we figured he was going to be related to Andy Papanestos, a former kicker at Alabama. They're cousins. So I figured that name with that name and that position are synonymous with each other, especially here in the state of Alabama. So we're here seeing a legacy, so to speak, from the Alabama Crimson Tide and Montgomery Catholic Knights.
We got to get our chains figured out over there. Chain gang, we pulled out of the stands, had it backwards, so we're going to get that straightened out before we get play started back. It will be second down at about 4.5 for the Knights. Ivy takes the snap, looks to pass, pressure coming from Callaway, and he will be brought down at around the 45.
Yeah, that was just way too much pressure from Callaway. They got a great rush right up the middle, and then R.J. Williams comes up, number 24. We called his name out a few times already. Finishes the play on the tackle.
So third down and about 6 to go for the Knights.
The only play so far that's worked is basically a little curl route, just something that goes about 6, 7, 8 yards, because Callaway is giving Montgomery Catholic no time whatsoever to throw the football.
Ivy takes the snap, keeps it, looks to pass, incomplete. It hits the turf right across the 50-yard line, and that will bring up a fourth down.
Just a lot of frustration there for quarterback Christian Ivy. Take a look here. It's just really no time to throw, no time to really let anything develop, and that's just basically a product of the speed that the Cavaliers bring on defense. They come with such intensity. This has been really fun to watch as far as that defensive pressure, and then they're playing really good complementary football because the offense is doing their job as well.
So we'll see the punt unit on for Montgomery Catholic. as Papanastis will be on to punt. Nice punt there. And Callaway will take over on offense. Now we've been talking about college softball a little bit with Jacksonville State down in the regionals at Tallahassee. Top of the 10th inning, tied at 3 between Jacksonville State and Kennesaw State. Winner moves on to play Auburn right after this game.
The Owls were threatening, had a runner on third, 2 outs, and Jacksonville State got the out.
Faith Sims came through with a strikeout, her 10th strikeout of the day. Callaway back on offense. Freeman takes the snap. We'll hand off there to Charlie Dixon. Dixon takes off. He's got plenty of room, and he will take it all the way to the end zone, right down the sideline.
Oh, this is what you call an embarrassment of riches right here. Just way too many, and this one will come back, though. You saw the speed on it, and once he got to the outside, he's a big-looking player. He's not as slender as Tank Bigsby, but he's a big player, but he's got all the speed in the world. This will all be for naught, though. Let's go have a holding here on Callaway. So bring it back. But once again, we're seeing just another piece of evidence of the speed and the talent that Callaway brings to the table here.
So we'll get the official signal from our head official here. There is holding on the Cavs. That will push it back after a beautiful run there from Dixon.
Yeah, this one goes all the way back to the 11-yard line. This is the first time we've seen Callaway work from behind the chains. His offense has been explosive really all game long.
So 1st and long. Freeman takes the snap, looks to pass, pressure coming this time, but he'll run his way out of it and will be close to picking up a 1st down.
Nice run there by Freeman. Was second and forever. But here, there's really nowhere to go. He just tucks it and runs it. Try to throw the football, and there was nobody open. Give credit to the secondary from Montgomery Catholic. That was a single-handed effort for the 1st down.
1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Freeman. Hand off that time to number 5. He'll take off. That's Quay Hines. And he will get a 1st down and plenty more.
This was such a funny handoff. He looked like he handed the football like he was handing him a towel. He just took it with one hand and laid it right, in Quay's about midsection, and Quay just took it from there. Just a lot of poise we're seeing from Freeman at that quarterback position.
So 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Callaway once again crossing midfield. Freeman takes the snap. Hand off to Dixon. And he will be brought down. He'll gain about a yard or 2 on the play.
Dixon was the speedster we saw on the play that came back for the touchdown. That time they used him on the inside. And he looks like a big bruising kind of back. So he'll be really versatile for the Cavaliers moving forward, because when you have Bigsby on the outside and you have him on the outside, and then you can run both guys on the inside as well, as we saw on the 2nd touchdown from Bigsby. It's a really talented group. And the thing is that you now can't guard them one way. And that's the one thing that I'm seeing from Callaway, is that they can hurt you in multiple ways. And a lot of times a team that's got a star or a couple of stars, they'll stick to a couple of bread and butter plays, but Callaway is really mixing it up well.
2nd down. High snap to Freeman. He will try to run his way out of trouble, and he'll get back to around the original line of scrimmage as a flag comes flying in after the play.
See what they call here. It's normally going to be a personal foul of some sort.
There will be a face mask against Montgomery Catholic.
So that'd be an automatic first down. They were looking at third down and short. Freeman really made the most of that last play. He ended up being like 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage and got back to the original line of scrimmage, but then with the face mask penalty, brings up a new set of downs there. So Montgomery Catholic really helping out the Cavs there. And this is an offense that doesn't need any of their opponents' help. It's been explosive so far, 26 points on the day and knocking on the door yet again in the red zone.
So 1st and 10 after the penalty from the 19-yard line. Dixon lines up behind Freeman. This time the pass incomplete. That will bring up a 2nd down. And another flag on the far side.
I think we're going 5 yards back here for Callaway. It's illegal formation there. I don't think there was enough players on the ball on the line of scrimmage. We'll march it back 5, and they'll start behind the chains once again.
So 1st and about 15 for Callaway. We've seen him get out of these long situations before. Freeman takes the snap, rolls out, pressure coming, and almost picked off there by the Catholic Knights.
Yeah, we talked about Freeman's elusiveness, but that time it almost got him in a little bit of trouble there. Try to thread the needle and pick up the first down. Really nowhere to go. Great surge there by the Knight defense. Throws it at the last moment, and it's a great closeout on the football by that Knights defensive back, 21, Nathan Downs. Comes up with a great play, sets up 2nd and long.
$7:11 left here in the 2nd quarter. And the Callaway Cavs lead it 26-0. Freeman takes the snap, hands off to Charlie Dixon. Dixon runs right into the Catholic Knights. Will bring up a 3rd down.
Nice job there by the Knights, sealing it up on the inside. Lots of players right in there, making sure that there was nothing to be gained on the inside.
And there will be a timeout called on the field by Montgomery Catholic. They are down 26-0. We'll be back with more with the Gridiron Challenge on TV 24.
Don't just dream it. Call Family Savings Credit Union. Right now, get something you want for as low as 2.24% APR. You can even apply online or by phone. Family Savings Credit Union, where your money grows with you and your family.
I'm Tim Hodges. For the last 8 years, it's been my honor to serve as the Calhoun County Commissioner for District 2. During my tenure, we've accomplished a lot.
With Tim Hodges on the commission, over 990 new jobs were created in District 2, not to mention the completion of 10 county school enhancements, along with over $6.5 million invested in the district's infrastructure.
We still have more to do, and with your support, we'll get it done together.
Vote Tim Hodges, Calhoun County Commissioner, District 2.
We're back here at Jacksonville State University Burgess Snow Field. The Callaway Cavs lead it 26-0. 6:36 left here in quarter number 2 out of the Montgomery Catholic called timeout. As the Cavs on offense here. Third, about 13. Freeman takes the snap, looks to pass, plenty of time. Ball in the air, too high. Incomplete pass will bring up 4th down.
Yeah, you could tell it got away from him just a little bit there. Wanted to put a little bit more touch on that ball. They went to the empty set, 5 wide, sent everybody downfield. Freeman is a good thrower, and that's one of those ones that he'll complete, come in the fall, mainly because it's the timing issue, and you saw the receiver basically stop mid part of the goal line. If he would have ran just further back, or Freeman was able to drop it in there a little bit sooner, probably would have connected on that. But it's 4th down, and Callaway's going to go for it here.
4th and 13. Offense still on the field. And that penalty will be against the offense. It'll remain 4th down, and that'll push them back.
It didn't get the play in within 25 seconds. Got the delay.
So one more opportunity here on 4th down. Freeman takes the snap. Pressure coming. Pass complete. That time to Quay Hines. And there will be another flag on the near side.
Yeah, this will be easy to call here. It's number 11, Jamari Jones. Tried as best as he could to hold off for as long as he could as Nathan Sapp was making his rounds around the corner. But he definitely held on that play, and it looks like the Knights will decline that and take over on downs.
.6:15 left here in quarter number 2. The Knights come back on the field.
So that's the first time the Knights were able to stop them. This great red zone defense there. And now the offense, see if they can get something going, because they've been able to put together individual plays, some strong ones, but not together a full drive, and that's kind of been the Achilles heel so far.
Christian Ivey, quarterback for the Knights, takes the snap as he hands off to Daryl Gibson. And he'll gain about a yard on the play.
I don't think a lot of teams are going to have success on Callaway trying to run up the middle. This team is clogged up the A-gap, B-gap, and C-gap virtually the entire game. And even when they're in passing situations, they get so much great pressure from up there.
Second and 8 for the Knights. Ivy takes the snap and intercepted by the Cavs. That is Javari Thomas. Pick 6 for the Cavs.
Tipped up, and Javari Thomas comes up with the interception, takes it in for the score. That was just suffocating defense right there. We'll take another look here on the replay. Ivy's pass, a little inside, and number 10 for the Cavs, Jabari Smith, tips it. And then his teammate, number 30, Javari Thomas, comes up with a big play and takes it into the house. So a couple of Jabaris making the play there for the touchdown.
32-0 as we sit here. We'll be back with more the Gridiron Challenge here on TV 24.
Historic Banning Mills is the largest and longest zipline canopy adventure in the world. It's located in your own backyard near Carrollton, Georgia. Historic Banning Mills offers over 9 miles of courses, 52 sky bridges, and over 90 different zip lines, soaring at speeds of up to 60 miles per hour and up to 3,400 feet in length. Most everyone in the family can participate, even the little ones. If that's not enough, climb the Guinness World Record's tallest freestanding rock climbing wall at 14 stories high. Historic Banning Mills also offers horseback riding, kayaking, GPS adventures, birds of prey shows, and much more. So much that you can't fit it all in one day. So stay the night or the whole weekend at their Country Inn Lodge or rent a cabin. Don't take your family, friends, or company retreat just anywhere. Make it unforgettable at Historic Banning Mills.
While we were away, the extra point was good. So Callaway leads it 33-0 with 5:20 left here in the second quarter. With Gerhard Mathangani, I'm Chase Robinson. John Holder down on the sideline. And Gerhard, we've seen big plays on offense from Callaway and a big play on defense.
I've run out of superlatives for this Callaway football team. They have shown just about on every level, from their offensive line to their receivers, running backs, quarterback in Freeman, their secondary, their linebackers, their pass rush up front. They, from what I've seen, they have no weakness in their game right now, and this is a very good Montgomery Catholic football team, but this Callaway team is a different beast, and they're in midseason form right now.
Williamson will be on to kick for the Cavs. And the Catholic Knights will take over from the 35-yard line.
4 offensive touchdowns and a defensive touchdown, and they've done it a variety of ways. They had the long play by Tank Bigsby to start the game off basically on a home run, and then the next drive really led by Freeman. Got back down again, and Montgomery Catholic has shown some flashes. Got a 4th down stop and conversion over there earlier, and then they turn the ball over and give up a pick 6. So really lots for both teams to be excited about. But for Callaway, you got to go home feeling really good about yourself here.
Gibson with the carry that time, brought down to bring up a 2nd and 12 now for the Knights.
Talked earlier about Montgomery Catholic being down south, playing in 4A Region 2. They play along the lights of Dale County, Alabama Christian, Ashford, BT Washington, and Headland.
Handoff this time back to Gibson. And he will pick up about 6 yards on the play.
Well executed play right there. It's much needed yards. Brings up a 3rd and manageable here.
So 3rd and 5 for the Knights. And there will be a penalty flag, some movement on the line.
I've seen this so many more times this spring more than I can ever remember.
Yep.
Teams get in 3rd down situations, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, and they just change the snap count, which is smart. Change the snap count and pick up a free 5 yards, bring up a 1st down. And so, if you can get it, and just by changing a snap count, a defense that is anticipatory, then you can do it. And I've seen it in the Calhoun County Spring Jamboree. I saw it last week as well, and then it works once again there.
So 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line for the Knights. Gibson takes the handoff from Ivy, and he will quickly be brought down.
Nice run there, run stop defensively for Callaway. And we talked about how this unit doesn't give up very much, and a lot of these players that have come to play, number 24, R.J. Williams, talked about him a few times, and 23, Kamarje Bray. 56 right there in the middle of everything as well. Adrelius Copeland. It's a strong group.
Ivy, the long pass, intercepted by the Cavs. That was Jalen Shepard. with the pick.
Stride for stride with him right there. That's picture-perfect defense. And then what he does is he goes stride for stride and then just goes up and gets the ball at the highest point. This is exactly what you want out of a defensive back. In one-on-one, man-to-man coverage, just go check your man the entire way. Don't hold. Don't pass interfere. When the ball's in the air, it's just as much your ball as it is his. Go up and get it. That's exactly what he did. Great, great interception there. A fantastic defensive back, Jalen Shepard.
So Cavs back on offense. And the Jack State Gamecock softball team have won. They beat Kennesaw State 5-3. They will advance to play Auburn here in just a little while. First and 10 from the 20 for the Cavs. Dixon takes the handoff, and the Knights bring him down behind the line.
Yeah, nowhere to go there for him on that play. And the Knights looking a little bit like the Cavaliers defensively on that play, doing a good job of sealing up the outside and not letting him bounce.
So 2nd and 11 for the Cavs. Demetrius Coleman takes the snap for the Cavs. He rolls out, looks to pass. Downfield, and a catch there by LaMarco Brooks.
That was wide open the entire time, and he just got behind the secondary, and a picture-perfect pass here. You got Freeman on one side, and then you come back in with Demetrius Coleman as your other quarterback. Marco Brooks does the rest. Tell you what, this team has been fun to watch today, this Callaway, Georgia team. We'll definitely keep an eye out on them as they campaign towards the 2018 season.
1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Coleman back in under center. He takes the snap and pitches it to Dixon. Dixon making some moves. He'll gain about 7 or 8 yards on the play.
Nice tackle there by Montgomery Catholic. It's the first time we saw the Cavs line up in the I formation. Just still a big surge. And 28, say about 7 to 8 yard gain there. I would say second on a long 3.
Minute left here in quarter number 2. 27-0 Callaway lead over Montgomery Catholic. Coleman under center takes the snap. Fakes the handoff and rolls out to the right side. Goes to the air and finds T. Bonner to pick up a first down for the Cavs.
Bonner had a nice catch earlier in the game, and there comes up with another one. And that's where Callaway has found a lot of success, getting their quarterback out on the perimeter on a rollout, and then looking for his receivers. And that time it results in a first down or first and goal here.
First and goal from the 10. With 30 seconds left here in the first half. Coleman back in. He'll be under center. Coleman takes the snap. Hands off to Dixon. Dixon brought down at the 10.
Second time in a row that the Cavs line up in the I formation, and it's just assignment football by Montgomery Catholic, and able to get them down for a loss of about 1.
And that is the end of quarter number 2. 27-0. Callaway leads Montgomery Catholic here at the break here at the end of the second quarter. We'll take a break and be back with more of the Gridiron Challenge from Jacksonville State University on TV 24.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Don Hudson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly supports the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
Historic Banning Mills is the largest and longest zipline canopy adventure in the world. It's located in your own backyard near Carrollton, Georgia. Historic Banning Mills offers over 9 miles of courses, 52 sky bridges, and over 90 different zip lines, soaring at speeds of up to 60 miles per hour and up to 3,400 feet in length. Most everyone in the family can participate, even the little ones. If that's not enough, climb the Guinness World Record's tallest freestanding rock climbing wall at 14 stories high. Historic Banning Mills also offers horseback riding, kayaking, GPS adventures, birds of prey shows, and much more. So much that you can't fit it all in one day. So stay the night or the whole weekend at their Country Inn Lodge or rent a cabin. Don't take your family, friends, or company retreat just anywhere. Make it unforgettable at Historic Banning Mills.
I'm Wayne Willis, Mayor of Weaver and State Senate candidate. As a career law enforcement officer, I am a true public servant. Just like you, I feel the same struggles working class Alabama faces. Throughout my campaign, I have not taken any money from any PACs, lobbyists, special interest groups, or big business. 100% of the contributions I've received has come from working class people and local small business owners. If you will elect Wayne Willis in the June 5th Republican primary, I can go to Montgomery and answer to only one group, and that's you, the voters.
It's the Gridiron Challenge here at Burgess Snowfield, Jacksonville State University. Our final game of our spring football here on TV 24. And we're seeing a good Callaway football team as they lead it 27-0 over the Montgomery Catholic Knights. With Gerhard Mathangani, I'm Chase Robinson. John Holder down on the sideline. And we have just one more quarter. This game is only 3 quarters, so this is our last quarter of spring football, Gerhard.
Absolutely. We want to shout out, there's a good shot here of the Cavs cheerleaders, and all of them, all the cheerleaders here have come out and supported, and it's been a really fun environment. It makes it kind of like what we see on Football Friday night. Speaking of Football Friday nights, talk to the king of Football Friday nights, John Holder.
As you know, last Saturday we had games here at Burgess Snowfield, and those games, it was hotter than this air temperature, probably in the 90s. However, we had very dry weather. The humidity and dew point values were very low. Today, temperature's about 87 out here right now, but the humidity is sky high, about 80-something%. Dew point values are around 70 degrees. So actually, as far as the heat and humidity combined, this is worse today than it was last week, and it doesn't look like we're going to have any cooling. That's the reason, guys, we've gone from 4 quarters to 3 in this last game.
Thank you, John. Yes, it has been a very warm day today, and kind of reminds you of August a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It's really reminiscent of what some of these guys will be facing in the next couple of months as they go out to training camp, as they go out to 7-on-7 camp and lineman camp, and then open up fall camp, and even really the early parts of the season is about this hot. It's really hot there since the HSA started early, so we start now third and fourth Fridays of August, and so these are temperatures they have to get used to.
And there will be an offsides penalty there for the snap. That will be against the Catholic Knights.
Encroachment there on the defensive end on that side, and coach says, you're going to watch this next play with me right now. Put him on the sideline, and number 59 comes in, takes the spot along the defensive end, Craig Thomas.
1st and 5. Coleman hands off to Bray, I believe. No, that is LaQuise Gilbert taking the handoff that time for the Cavs.
I feel like you can plug in one guy and then you plug in another guy and you plug in another guy and the production really just doesn't drop off as much. Nice run there by one of the younger players, and that's exactly what we'll see here. Guys like Gilbert, guys like Copeland all in the game. This is exactly what we expect to see, some of the younger guys get in there.
Back to Gilbert, and he will get across to about the 40-yard line.
Once again, another penalty flag here, and we've got two of them on both sides, so it looks like both sides of where the offensive line was. We'll have a holding here on Callaway, so they'll march it back even further. Getting word here, you see in the huddle for Callaway some black helmets. Getting word here, that's 8th graders. Unbelievable. Unbelievable at the same time as well.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's if they're 8th graders now rising 9th graders, or they're 7th graders rising 8th graders, but either way, they're young and they'll be playing right here and getting some action. Not sure how much varsity time they'll get because the starters that are right above them are a really talented group. But either way, all this experience can only go to serve them and help them out as they develop and continue to go. And it's a good shot there. It's number 1. We don't have a second number 1 on our roster. The number 1 that we have is Telly Fanning.
Second and very long for the Cavaliers. Coleman takes the snap, pitches it back, and a nice run there from number 1.
Yeah, there's a number 1 on the varsity. That was Telly Fanning that we had earlier. There's also number 4 out there. We also know number 4 is Tank Bigsby. So we'll look to get that young man's name. But we have that was a pitch that seemed to be broken play, but a heads-up play there by the youngster, and he was able to pick up a few yards and set it up now where it's 3rd and 10. We'll see what the Cavs would like to do here.
Coleman under center. And another penalty flag, and that will be an encroachment by the defense.
Yeah, we saw this earlier on 3rd down, and I'm not even sure there was a hard count there or a different cadence. Either way, it's another 5 yards, and we'll see if that changes things as far as the play design, the play run. So far, no changes over from the sideline, so I guess they'll run the same thing that they were going to run on 3rd and 5, on 3rd and 10.
Coleman takes the handoff and gives it to Gilbert. And we'll pick up a 1st down.
That play's well blocked right there, and Montgomery Catholic has done a pretty solid job on the inside with that front 7 unit. But we're seeing a really, really big group from Callaway, and they're winning a lot of these line of scrimmage battles.
Coleman takes the snap. Back to Gilbert. Gilbert goes around the edge and will take it into the end zone. Another Callaway Cav touchdown.
We go from Tank Bigsby, who's the number 1 player in America at that position. And then you go to 27, Charlie Dixon, who had an explosive run. And then you gave it to LaQuise Gilbert and for another touchdown. I believe this Callaway team has a lot to be excited about in the future because we are seeing a bevy of backs here, all with production, all getting into the end zone.
So on to attempt the extra point is Williamson. And He will miss wide right. So 6-0, the JV portion of this game as the Callaway Cavs continue to put points up on the board against Montgomery Catholic.
And that first touchdown for the junior varsity looked a lot like the first touchdown for the varsity. A long run by a solid running back. Tank Bigsby was the guy that opened things up to begin the game, and then Gilbert following suit here in the first possession of the junior varsity portion of the game. Callaway also brought a really good group of fans here. I ran into a few of them downstairs, and they're really excited about this ball club. And one of the main thing that I got was they understand they're talented, but they say they play where they play in Georgia. Their area, their region is also really talented as well. So just to get out of their region and make a playoff run will be key for Callaway, but much like we see with teams around here, and for example, Class 4A Region 6 or 3A Region 6, a lot of the times those teams are some of the top teams in the state, and so they face a lot of the same challenges that the teams that we cover on a week-to-week basis do as well. They can get out of there unscathed with a region championship, first or second seed, have a good chance to host a couple playoff games and make a run at a state championship.
The Knights back on the field on offense, 1st and 10. And there we see Raz Chandler taking the handoff. We'll gain about 5 yards on the play.
Montgomery Catholic in their 73rd year of football in the state capital. They've won a few region championships, including last year, 1989, 1976, and 1974. No state championships. But a really strong tradition, and Coach Aubrey Blackwell has done a really solid job. We talked about how much they've improved each season. 4-6 in his first year, 8-3 in his second year, 10-2 last year with a first-round playoff win and a loss in the second round. They play in that very tough 4A Region 2. Their only losses last year were at Trinity, who we've seen here, as well as UMS Wright, who went on to have a solid season as well.
Pass was complete to Craig Thomas. And I'll bring up a 4th down for the Knights.
By solid season for UMS Wright. I mean, won the state championship.
Yes.
Ended up taking it all over Fayette County, a team that they'll see as well. So Montgomery Catholic is like we talked about, a lot of the teams that are here play in the north. Very tough region, but once they get out of it, they have a great shot at state.
4th and about 3. And that is Cephas Cleveland, the junior, with the run there. Pick up a 1st down.
Easily my favorite name of the day, Cephas Cleveland. Number 8. Nice run, picks up a 1st down there for the Knights.
6:50 left here. Again, this game only playing 3 quarters. Cleveland takes the snap, looks to pass. Throws a little long, incomplete there. That will bring up a 2nd and 10.
Nice closeout there in the secondary as well by Callaway. One of the interesting things that we will see, I think, for both teams moving forward is the player development, because both teams have solid players. We saw a lot of college athletes for Callaway, but this development, how much can they improve throughout the year, and how much can they go away from what they normally do, open up the playbook a whole lot more with that range of talent. And for the Knights, it's finding guys to come in and make some plays, make some big plays. Obviously, this was one of the hardest tests they'll face all season, but it'll be good for them moving forward as well.
Ethan Benz, there you see him in the number 13 jersey with that run. Gonna bring up a 3rd down for the Knights. Cleveland
Yeah, once again, third down. I'm not even sure if they changed the cadence on that one either. So both teams here will have one of the points of emphasis is, hey, on third down, we have to realize the teams are going to try to get us to jump off sides. And being disciplined enough to watch the football and not give them the free 5 yards. And in this case, like we've seen it in the past, it results in a first down.
Under 6 minutes to go here. Cleveland takes the snap, goes to the air, and he finds Jalen Thomas, who is brought down at about the 26-yard line. And there will be a heat timeout here in this third quarter. 5:49 left to go. Callaway on top of Montgomery Catholic here from the Gridiron Challenge on TV 24.
I was finally ready to buy my first home after renting for the last several years. As I started my search, I got overwhelmed by how many websites and confusing listings there are. That's when I found the experts at ERA King. To me, ERA means expertise, reliability, and activity. I depended on them to find a home in my budget, and they didn't stop working until the keys were in my hands. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Don Hudson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly supports the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
Back here, Jacksonville State University, Burgess Snow Field. That is the site for the Gridiron Challenge here on TV 24. And the Callaway Cavaliers doing it in all phases of the game against Montgomery Catholic Knights, who are on offense now with 5:40 left here in this three-quarter game. Our final game here from Jacksonville State. We've had a lot of good spring football over the last few days, Gerhard.
Absolutely, and it's been really fun to watch because, you know, you get a real taste of what teams will look like in the fall, and it's good for obviously it's good for the players to get some self-evaluation. It's good for the coaches to find out kind of where you are, and it's good for the fans as well because you end off the spring with a little taste of football. You know where your team is, you know where they stand, and you have some competition to measure it against. And obviously for Montgomery Catholic and for Callaway, they'll both take away some positives and they'll both take away some things that they want to work on, want to improve on. Because these two teams, unlike some teams that we saw yesterday, they don't play each other in the regular season. So it's not like you're having to hide anything necessarily. You don't want to show, you know, all of basically everything's really vanilla as far as the stuff that you're working on. But here in the state of Alabama, you only have 9 practices. So you want to get the fundamentals down. And I think for all these teams that participate in this spring jamboree, it's really, really, really beneficial as they move forward.
Chandler there with a nice run for the Knights. Picks up a first down. That will be from the 10-yard line. First and goal for the Knights.
Easily the best drive so far for Montgomery Catholic. Really doing it in a lot of different ways. And we saw new quarterback Cephas Cleveland put a couple in the air, and they've marched down the field here on Callaway for the first time all day.
Cleveland takes the snap, back to the air he goes, and overthrows the intended receiver, Jalen Thomas.
Yeah, it looks like they were just trying to hook up on a fade route over there on the end zone. You see that a lot, especially if you have a height advantage over the defensive back, and they're just a little bit out of the reach.
.412 left here. Cleveland. Chandler lines up next to Cleveland in the backfield. Cleveland takes the snap, looks to pass, and out of the hands of Luke Voorhees.
Voorhees ran a nice route, and Cleveland really put it on the spy. It was tad low, but that was a catchable football. And that's one of the things that they'll work on during 7-on-7 camps, is getting that timing down.
Third down. Cleveland will take it himself this time. He takes it to the outside and will be brought down about the 5-yard line to bring up a 4th down.
It's really good containment defense there for Callaway, number 22. Marco Brooks, we've seen him on a couple of plays earlier this game. He was one of the guys that helped seal off the edge and make sure there was nowhere to run, bringing up 4th and goal.
Fourth down with 3:35 left to go here. As Callaway leads 6-0 here in the third quarter in the JV portion. There's a 27-0 there in the first half as the Knights call a timeout. We will be back with the last 3 minutes and 20 seconds coming up here on TV 24.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Don Hudson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly supports the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
Hello, I'm Coach Scott Martin. I'm running for Calhoun County Commissioner of District 3. I bring to you character, leadership, and commitment. Character, to do the right thing. Leadership, 32 years of public service. And commitment, making sure I do what is in the best interest of all citizens of Calhoun County. Your vote is important, and I need your vote, so please come out June 5th and vote Coach Scott Martin, Calhoun County Commissioner, District 3.
Back here, Jacksonville State University, the site of the Gridiron Challenge, and we are live here on TV 24, Montgomery Catholic. Nice trick play there, but not able to convert it.
First trick play of the day that we've seen so far, and it was a little halfback pass here. We'll see just how close it was. 4th and goal against a really good Callaway team that you're not going to see in the regular season, and just out of the hands there, number 20, Jalen Thomas. But I like the call. I like the strategy, and that's a play that could work come fall.
So the Cavs will take over on offense. 1st and 10 from about the 6-yard line.
So far we've seen this JV unit being headed up by a quarterback that's not too much of a drop-off of the one they had earlier. I tell you what, Demetrius Coleman has really looked the part here, and complimented by running back Gilbert.
Number 1 there for the Cavs. Seen him a couple of times make some good runs.
Absolutely, and we talked about how those black helmets are a sign of youth, so to speak, and are 8th graders. So young guys that would be getting a lot of JV time, and in some situations playing with the junior high team. They'll getting some well-needed, much-needed, and highly valued experience here with the varsity unit.
Pitch this time to number 11. Nice run for him there. And you look across the way at Callaway's bench. It's deep.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, they're built, I would say, they have, as far as numbers go, they look about the size of Gardendale. And Gardendale's a 6A here in the state of Alabama. They're 3A in Georgia, equates to about a 5A. And it's just a deep, talented roster, and they have it everywhere. They have size along the offensive line and defensive line. They have athleticism in their secondary and with their skill guys. It's a really fun team to watch here. Is junior high running back Number 1 making yet another play.
2 minutes to go here in this game, only playing 3 quarters. Of course, following this game, John Holder will be down on the field. He'll talk to both head coaches about what they saw and kind of how their spring has gone.
Really interested to hear what Coach Wiggins has to say about this Callaway bunch, because this is a team that did well last year and they'll have some high expectations going into this season. And obviously with Montgomery Catholic had a strong season last year. We faced a really tough team today. It'll be interesting to see how both coaches evaluate not only their spring, but where they move forward from here.
Nice run there by number 11 for Callaway. And we'll bring up a 1st and 10 for the Cavaliers. One minute remaining. We'll see if we can get a couple of more plays off. This time to number 4. He's trying to be like the other number 4, Tank Bixby.
Exactly. Line up in a fullback position for a lot of the game, and that time got the handoff and showed some quickness.
25 seconds left to go here. We'll get probably one more play off. 2nd down at about 3. The pitch to 1. He takes off. Nice movement there from number 1 for Callaway.
Absolutely. We talked about how these guys mark the younger guys, the 8th graders, and there's a bright future ahead at Callaway High School. And I'll tell you what, I couldn't have been more impressed. We saw on paper, the recruiting services are one thing. They tell you, hey, these guys are being looked at by these teams and whatnot. But when you go out there and you show it, like this Callaway team has done, and I'm talking across the board, from Tank Bixby, who's the number 1 player in America, all the way through the defensive end, Nathan Sapp, and some of the receivers that have had great days as well. It's a pleasure to watch this Callaway team. We'll keep an eye out on them this fall, and we also appreciate Montgomery Catholic coming all the way from the state capital here to Jacksonville State to play some football. It's fun to watch these youngsters go at it and get a little taste of what's to come in the fall.
And folks over in Georgia, those teams have a tough task taking on Callaway coming up next season.
They do look ready. They look ready for the regular season already, and this will be a fun group to watch.
We're going to get both head coaches down there for John to talk to and get their thoughts on this spring football game. And let's go down on the field now. Here's John Holder.
All right, we're here with the head coach of the Callaway Cavaliers, Coach Pete Wiggins, and coach, a very impressive football team that you brought here. Of course, your program's established, had a lot of great seasons. And what did you see here today from your football team?
Well, I'm proud of my kids. We've worked hard. We started on January 4th in the weight room in our after-school program, and that went up to April 28th when we started spring ball. And again, our kids have worked hard to get here, and Catholic's got a great football team, and I felt like that we executed well today. But again, we go back and watch film, find out some stuff about ourselves, and we got some holes to fill from guys that we lost last year. Had a big class, and so we got a long way to go. But again, overall, I'm proud of our kids' effort and attitude preparing for today.
You got a halfway decent running back.
Tank Bixby, he works hard, and he's a solid guy. He works hard in the weight room and year round. Quay Hines is a good running back for us. Jacob Freeman at quarterback, and but it's a team effort, and our guys up front did a great job. I'm really proud of them.
Tell us about bringing your team from Hogansville up here to Jacksonville to play on college campus and television and turf and all that stuff.
Well, we've been over here several times over the years with 7-on-7. Had some big games in this stadium, and I always enjoyed that. And I'm from Ranburne, Alabama, so I'm familiar with Jack State, and it means a lot for me to get to come back home and or toward this way and get to play. So, but I'm proud of our kids. You know, our kids get to be on a college campus like Jacksonville State University, a school with this kind of tradition. It means a lot to our community and our kids, and again, I'm proud for that opportunity.
Ranburne Bulldog taking it back to Hogansville, Georgia. Coach, thanks so much, and good luck this season.
Thank you.
Pete Wiggins, head coach of the Callaway Cavaliers. We'll go ahead and bring in Coach Aubrey Blackwell of Catholic of Montgomery. A great season last year, region championship. You got 16 out of 22 starters back. Obviously, I don't think you're going to run into anybody like this much the rest of the way, do you?
No, that's kind of we've got about 330 students. They got about twice as many. But you know what, we look for a team that we could be that would be better and faster and bigger and stronger. We needed to see that. We got a very tough schedule coming up next year. We got some very good opponents on our schedule, especially in our non-conference. We're playing a couple of 5A schools. Them being a 5A Callaway school seemed like it was a good matchup for us. They were a little bit overpowering for us today, but it's a great learning experience for our guys. Give them a chance to be on this beautiful campus here at Jacksonville State. It's great competition, and give us something to look forward to. Give us something to work to. And I'm really proud of our kids. We played hard. We didn't quit. We played hard. We got after them. We just, at the end of the day, they just had a lot more bigger kids than we did. But that's okay. That's a good learning experience for us.
Obviously, with the number of fraternities you got coming back, you're expecting to build upon. You know, a lot of folks maybe haven't heard about Montgomery Catholic football until the last couple of years, and now people around the state are starting to talk about the Catholic Knights in football. And so, talk about building that tradition.
Well, that's the same thing. That's why you play games like this. You know, you get a chance to play for you guys on TV and at Jacksonville State against a quality, great football team in Callaway, and that's why our schedule reflects that this year too. But it takes every year. You know, we're trying to build that program starting all the way back in the 4th grade with our termite team, and really do something great for the school in all levels. And we try to teach that from all the way from the top down to the bottom. And that's what it's going to take. We've got a great staff built up. We've got a lot of seniors coming back on this team, so I'm really excited about it.
So as we go through summer, walk us kind of quickly through summer and what that looks like for Catholic football.
We're going to get going about the second week of June, and it's a great time to get an opportunity to really get in shape. We got to continue to get bigger and stronger. We still got a lot of young guys that aren't quite where we want them to be strength-wise, so we're going to take that really time and spend it in the weight room. Continue to compete, continue to get better in the passing game. We're all new at quarterback and wide receiver in the secondary, so that's what that is. This gives us an opportunity to continue to get bigger and stronger and work on those fine points.
Coach, best of luck in the 2018 season. Have a safe trip back to Montgomery. Enjoyed having you up here in Jayville.
Thank you for having us. It was awesome. Thank you.
All right, Aubrey Blackwell is the head coach of the Catholic Knights in Montgomery, guys, wrapping things up here at JSU Stadium.
And thank you, John. And we saw a couple of good football teams this afternoon and really for the past few days here at Jacksonville State University.
Absolutely. I think some of the strongest takeaways is the score necessarily doesn't matter, but you got a good evaluation time. You heard Coach Blackwell from the Catholic Knights talk about how they won't face a team like Callaway moving forward, but it was good to see them and good to play against that, have something to build towards. For Callaway, the expectations are going to be there. We'll be following them in the state of Georgia. All the other teams that we saw today, Central Clay as well as Gardendale and some of these other teams, Lawrence County, I think everybody got some valuable experience playing in this spring jamboree.
And a big win for the Callaway Cavaliers this afternoon to wrap up spring football here at Jacksonville State University and here on TV 24. We saw some great football from teams all over Alabama and into Georgia, teams from Calhoun County, and it's been a lot of fun bringing it to you. A lot of good players and a lot of good teams. Thank you so much for joining us. We have an outstanding crew, thanks to them. Thank you for everyone for joining us, and football season will be here before you know it. Just a couple of months away, and Pigskin Roundup will be starting here on TV 24. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Have a good evening.